Imagine waking up one morning. You walk toward the window, and suddenly you realize the horizon isn't curved anymore. It's angled. The mountains look sharper. The oceans have edges. And the Earth is no longer round. The Earth has become a giant triangle. Congratulations! You're now living in a world where the laws of nature, physics, gravity, and even the meaning of life look nothing like the reality you once knew. So get ready, because what you're about to hear is one of the strangest scenarios ever imagined. First of all, if Earth were triangular, it would have three colossal edges, three massive corners that would reshape the entire planet in completely different ways. But here's the craziest part. Gravity would break instantly. On a spherical Earth, gravity pulls evenly toward the center from every direction. But on a triangular Earth, the center of mass wouldn't be in the geometric center anymore. Most of the mass would pull toward the middle of the triangle, not the corners. What does that mean? The closer you get to the center of the triangle, the heavier you become. And the closer you move toward the three corners, your weight drops. People living near the corners might feel unnaturally light. So light that walking becomes tricky, or they might even slide slightly across the ground because gravity there is weaker. But near the center of the triangle, gravity becomes intense. Buildings would need heavy, pressure-resistant structures. Walking would take more energy, and rivers would race toward the center at extreme speeds. The world would no longer be a calm, balanced sphere. It would be a planet split into zones of supergravity and ultralight regions. On our real Earth, climate is shaped by our spin, our tilt, and our spherical form. But on a triangular Earth, that planet would follow its own chaotic rules. Since triangles aren't symmetrical like spheres, winds, airflow, and rainfall cycles would act bizarrely. The result? Three massive and completely different climates would form along the three sides. One side would become extremely hot, the second side, bitterly cold, and the third side, unstable and unpredictable. Sudden storms, strange winds, irregular rainfall. Earth would literally become a three-partitioned planet. And if Earth had always been triangular, life wouldn't look anything like what we know today. Animals near the center of the triangle would evolve short, strong limbs to handle intense gravity. Creatures living near the corners would become taller, lighter, and faster. Even plants would grow differently, adapting to strange winds and extreme gravity differences across each region. And humans? They'd likely evolve into three distinct variations on the three sides of Earth, like three completely different human civilizations. On a triangular Earth, water would always be pulled toward the center of the triangle. What would that mean? A massive, terrifying, ultra-deep ocean would form in the middle, so deep that the pressure at the bottom could destroy any submarine ever built. But the closer you move toward the edges of the triangle, the shallower the water became. The coastlines would be wide and stretched out like a giant ring around the planet. So what would the world map look like? Center equals a dark, bottomless ocean. Outer areas equals more land and countless islands. Corners equals the driest, least rainy regions on the planet. In such a world, even animal migration patterns would completely change. Most species would gather near the center where water was more abundant. Now imagine human civilization forming on this strange planet. Because each side of the triangle had a different environment, humans on each side would develop unique cultures, languages, tools, and even different technologies. Side 1. High gravity zone. Gravity was stronger here. People would evolve shorter, stronger bodies with powerful muscles. Cities needed extremely durable infrastructure. This region would become the heart of industry and technology. Side 2. The cold side. Freezing weather meant thick clothing, sturdy houses, and advanced heating systems. These people might live like futuristic versions of the Inuit, but with far more sophisticated tools. Side 3. The unstable climate. This region had chaotic weather. Sudden storms forced people to build strong tents, low-profile homes, and flexible structures. They would become experts at predicting weather and mastering survival techniques unknown to other regions. Eventually, 3 super civilizations would rise, each one powerful enough to change the course of history. On real Earth, maps sometimes look stretched or distorted, but on a triangular Earth, the world map would be split into 3 major sections. A giant oceanic pit in the center, 1 main continent on each side. The planet would be simpler, but infinitely stranger. 3 continents, 3 super civilizations, 3 cultures, 3 global powers, and most likely, massive wars over the center of the triangle, the place with the most water and the richest minerals. Every civilization would fight to control it, because it meant survival. Up to this point, everything was fun and sci-fi. But now let's face scientific reality. A triangular Earth couldn't survive even 1 second. Why? Because gravity always forces large objects, like planets, into the most stable shape possible. And the most stable geometric shape is a sphere. If Earth were triangular, gravity would pull the corners inward. The edges would start bending quickly. And in just a few thousand years, the triangle would collapse. Earth would reshape itself back into a sphere. Even if civilizations lived on it, their planet would slowly round out over time. So the only way for a triangular Earth to remain stable is if its material wasn't like normal planets. The laws of physics were completely different, or a form of gravity existed that we don't understand yet. So if one day you wake up and notice Earth is no longer round, and the horizon has sharp angles, know this: you're no longer in our universe. You've entered a world where physics, gravity, geography, and even the definition of life have all been rewritten. A world with 3 sides, 3 continents, 3 types of humans, and 1 massive mystery. How is a planet shaped like this still standing?